Another big game, another big flop for Neil Critchley. Welcome back to Fog Football. Hearts nil, Motherwell nil. Flip it, because I guess it was at Fir Park. But you know what? How about you flip this guy out the door? I called it months ago. I mean, we all called it at the appointment of this guy, right? It was never, ever going to work. 13 games at Blackpool. Did nothing to warrant the Hearts job. Nothing about him screamed a guy that's got the I mean, look at Aberdeen, right? Say you want about Jimmy Thielen, you know what I mean, the forgotten man, the worst manager in the league at one point he was labelled, the best manager in the league he was labelled, right? How for Jimmy Thielen, right? A guy who's actually won leagues, right? Clermont won leagues, right? And at least with Davy Gray, he's got that connection, right? With Hibs, and he's turned it around and absolutely justifying not getting sacked, right? Naismith got the job, took them to third last season, did good, right? Why did Neil Critchley get appointed? I am absolutely flabbergasted, right? How this guy has ended up in the Hearts job. And I know I've worded that like he just got it yesterday or something, right? He got it months ago. Well in, back in 2024 there, right? But I just don't understand this guy. The Petrol Cub, I would have sacked him straight after that. You know what I mean? The Coefficient Cup, loyal, and all this pish. The guy has just never shown anything in his managerial career. There's nothing big time about him. Done nothing. I mean, Neil Critchley has walked into the Hearts job like it is a mid-table League One team. And that's what Blackpool are. And that's what they are. Hearts, some people claim they're third biggest, fourth, fifth. They're somewhere there, alright? Realistically, we'll just call them back. Let's fourth. So the fourth biggest team in the country gets managed by a guy that couldn't run a bath. That's pretty much the gist of it, right? And they need a goal. St Mirren are winning 3-2, folks. And he tells Gordon to get back. What? That late corner, there was a lot of controversy about that. I was reading there I think it was the Herald. So, I don't know. Crazy, but we'll wrap up this top six pish right here, right now. There is 4 more games to go. Well, no, 2 more games. 4 more teams to go tomorrow. Obviously, Aberdeen, Rangers, also Hibs Dundee, but 3 of those teams are already guaranteed top 6 football, and Dundee at best, folks, if they beat Hibs, which they won't, but if they did, they would go on to 37 points, 2 clear of Killie and Ross County. So let's just look at it. So obviously that draw for Motherwell and St Mirren has done absolutely, Motherwell and Hearts has done nothing for either team. Motherwell needed to win and hope that St Mirren got beat. Well, all Hearts needed to do was win, and they would have guaranteed it. Just another piss poor performance, right? All this talk at the start of the season, Dahanda, Spittle, things like that. They're signing this guy, that guy. They've kept a hold of Shankland. Craig Gordon's back. That. And this fucking squad, there's no reason for Hearts finishing in the bottom 6. We can look at the first part of the season, right, under Naismith, which was bogging, but it was worse than bogging. It was disgusting, right? But Critchley has been hovering around the mid-table now for like 10, 12 games. It's went ever since that loss to Hibs. It's just went tits up again. Guy can't win a big game, and all Hearts have got left to play for. I mean, theoretically, right? Hearts could still very easily finish 11th. Like, say Dundee pick up a point tomorrow, or hell, even if they get beat, 6 points in the bottom set, with 5 games to go. It is not an impossible situation. The Hearts finish way lower than 7th and potentially in 11th. All eyes have to go towards the Scottish Cup, against Aberdeen. Then obviously it would probably be against Celtic, but I just don't think enough's being made about Neil Critchley. But there's a certain guy that went through Neil Critchley, right? And let's get into it. So Ewan Cameron turned around and said, "Angry emoji, Hearts bottom 6, angry emoji. Where are the Critchley apologists now? Where are you?" That was not a disgrace. That was an embarrassment. We're a fucking shambles from top to bottom. Enough is enough. Critchley must go now. I tell you what, don't agree with Ewan Cameron on a lot of things, This is a guy that would rather shit outside than shit in someone's house. But anyway, I digress. Neil Critchley has shat in Hearts' house. Because I tell you what, all he's done is drop the ball, man. He's no big games. I think he's picked up 3 points out of possible, like, 24, 27 against the top 6. The top 5, you know, if you take Hearts out of it. Like, that's rank rotten, man. There's no excuse for that. I know, yeah, there's been a few games unlucky, you know. Tynecastle really should have beat Rangers, but end of the day, see 5 years from now, no one's going to be like, oh, but Hearts were really unlucky in that day. No, you're just going to remember the 3-1 scoreline. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, Hearts obviously can't get in the top 6. It's all over. And I'm hearing people talk about the split, get rid of it. No, I think today proves why the split's so good, because this is match day, you know what, 33. And look at the drama it's caused. You know, if there was no split, this would just be an ordinary weekend. But there's obviously this is action-packed, drama-packed, man, you name it. And fair play to St Mirren. You know what? Stephen Robinson, they've went under the radar, St Mirren, completely. But, yeah, they're going to finish a distant 6th unless, I say unless, there's nothing they can do realistically, if we're being honest. But what a season for them. They defeated Ross County 3-2. Ross County kept coming back, but they got that late goal and they got top 6. And you know what? I mean, if Critchley got it, I wouldn't have turned around and said he didn't deserve it, but Hearts have sleepwalked the past couple of weeks, man. The past like 6 weeks. It's almost like they thought top 6 was a given, and they've just fell further and further and further behind the rest of the teams in the top 5, and it's a disgrace how far they are behind. And yeah, they do have the constellation of the cup, but like we've pointed out, the big games, he can't win them. You know what I mean? He can't win the big games against teams that aren't Celtic, right? How can anybody think that Neil Critchley's going to rock up to Hampden Park in May and do something? It's not going to happen. Now, here, maybe he can, and maybe there'll be a statue outside Tynecastle with Neil Critchley's name on it if he can do it. But I'm going to bet big money against it. Let's put it that way. The other game today, which we've completely glossed over, was Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 0. So St Johnstone sit quite the distance behind the likes of everyone else. 6 behind Killie and Ross County, 5 behind Dundee, but Dundee play tomorrow. And as for Dundee United, well, they're joint on points with Hibs, so we'll see. Obviously, Aberdeen and Hibs both play tomorrow. We'll see what drama it has in store, but aye, that is where we're going to leave it, guys. Fog Football reacting, the top 6, the bottom 6, pretty much all decided. Hearts miss out. Absolute disaster, if we're being honest, man. Unacceptable. It is. Nowhere near enough, guys, is being made of this. Nowhere near enough.